You did not get in trouble. Come on.
I played yours for...
Oh, did you play mine for somebody else?
Yes.
Well, at least you're consistent.
Oh, did you?
Well, so for mine, he played Kaisha McCrae's, which I adore. So now apparently he paid me back and played mine for somebody else.
Listen to Anna, she sounds...
It's sexy. Wait till you hear it. It is sexy.
You're like...
I did hear yours, I think.
But it was all... It was when I was going through, when I was going through some things that apparently it dropped my voice several different octaves. It was sexy. And now it's gone, and I'm super sad.
Oh, your sexy phlegm is gone?
It is. Its sexy phlegm is gone. It's so bad.
I'm not taking up smoking cigarettes.
You gotta use it.
Like my grandkids.
You gotta use it before you lose it.
Yes.
I
should have done the 1-800. No, it's not 1-800.
No more.
It's 1-900. Well, I don't know.
Be like the lady running for office. What's her name? Susanna Gibson. She was doing. Yeah, I know you're not in that, but she was doing one of those.
Aren't we live? Let's not.
No.
We're live, aren't we?
We are live.
What?
We are live.
Let's not talk politics.
Are you not, Anna?
Be like, yes.
I'm so, well, you said we're ready, so
We're protecting the innocent. We're protecting the innocent.
I was ready. You said we're ready.
Right.
Hey, it's no different than the time that I've probably cursed.
Hi, everybody. I am Anna Sothen. Anna like Princess Anna from Frozen, and Sothen like the beginning of a story. And I am your community connector. I am your human Rolodex. I help you increase your visibility and your credibility so that you can increase your business's profitability. If you want to be seen, if you want to be heard, if you want to be the expert in your industry, we need to connect. So reach out to me, Anna Sothen at Best Version Media.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is me back with, I used to have my sexy voice, which has now gone away. So if anybody knows how to bring that back, you let me know. But this, I am so excited to have my friend Linne with me here today. So tell everybody what your name is and then what your business name is.
I am Linné Diiorio, and my business name is Linné Diiorio Communications.
Okay, so communications is a pretty broad term. What does that mean?
It's a broad term, and it's an umbrella term because I do all the things.
All the things.
So I am a voiceover artist.
Which I think
so being back behind a board is like,
don't press the buttons.
I know, no big buttons.
Mike gets in trouble.
Totally geeking out. So I do voiceover recordings, commercials, narration, meditations, on-hold marketing, messaging. So the voice on the doctor's office when you call and you're put on hold. Yeah. I do that. I
would actually like to hear your voice, I think. Like most times when I hear those things, it literally is like nails on a chalkboard. But I would enjoy listening to your voice. I would be okay with that. So.
Thank you. I do all that out of my home booth, and then I also partner with some local studios because I love to be in a big booth with an engineer and all the fancy stuff and equipment. And then I'm a marketing and event strategist. So I have a hospitality background, been in the business for over 20 years, and I'm an independent now, but I bring all that experience with me and help folks with brand building. I'm a brand ambassador. I do MC work, Voice of God at events.
Voice of God. Wait, hold up. So,
oh yeah, like
pause. I know we're both like, wait, what? Say
the voice at the Grammys. So you're calling,
Oh.
you're announcing people on and off the stage, but they don't necessarily see you. You're just the voice in the room.
Oh, you're the voice. Okay. So like I've been to several different conferences and now I remember where I've heard that term before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was, I actually got to see him one time. He was just sitting at a stand, like a podium in the background.
Stage, wearing stage black. You just got like a music stand and a little flashlight or something and a script. So that's really fun. I can do on-screen or, on-stage work or behind the scenes. I love that too. I can moderate panel discussions. I can facilitate board retreats. So I just kind of tie it all together. And most days I'm creating content or helping someone audit their website and get their brand refreshed and things like that. Everybody pivoted in the pandemic, and now everybody's kind of like rewriting their websites and getting everything refreshed.
Yeah, that's it was a 2 year. Well, Mike was just talking with Dr. Dallas. Yes, Dr. Dallas, about the whole, pandemic and how when we came out of it, we had to, rethink things or whatever. But you did a huge pivot too, right? So like you were in events and hospitality, and even though you still apply that knowledge and that expertise, you've done sort of a 180. So tell me a little bit about that journey. Like what made you decide to shift from what you were doing and go into business for yourself? Because I think it takes a lot of courage to do that. and there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of what ifs that happens. But how did you get to that point? And so let's start there. How did you get there? Like, what made you decide to go cool and jump?
Keep it clean for Facebook Live. No, I mean, you get to a point in your career where you really don't have much room for growth. And so you start to feel stagnant. And I felt like there was just more that I wanted to offer and give and learn too. And so I really decided I wanted to lean more into the marketing and the creative side of what I can bring to the table. So I'd started planting seeds. And one of the things I'd really like to evangelize here is expanding your networking circles. Where in my corporate job, I had a lot of associations that I was a member of for work, and that was lovely. But, once you kind of drill down and everybody knows what you do and you know what they do, and, you kind of hit a wall as far as the networking success goes. So you have to start expanding your bubble. And once I did that and started being in rooms with entrepreneurial women and seeing other people that had left the corporate world and were doing their own thing and doing it well and had balance and were home for their kids. And I was like, okay, I need to pursue this. So I started planting the seeds and talking with people that ran small marketing agencies, and one really clicked. And it took about 6 months or so, which was fine. I was in no rush. I loved my job. I loved my team. But when she was ready to bring me on, it was June of 2020. So the pandemic was already in full force, especially the hospitality industry. We were devastated.
Yes, yeah.
Didn't want to leave my team at that time, but I had to make a good decision for me and my family. So that gave me the opportunity to start working from home and to learn how to consult and how to build brands from scratch. And her process was really creative and innovative, and I just loved being at the beginning of a process with someone, from logo ideation, colors,
That's hard.
typography, everything. Picking out the website template, just everything. It was just exciting. Helped a couple food brands launch. Trying to reconnect. Okay, we're back.
Yay.
So that was, again, June of 2020. I was getting settled in, loved everything about that. Working from home, just feeling like, ooh, I got the lifestyle. It's great. Come Labor Day that year, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So that just kind of shut everything down, for me. I tried to push through, and kind of in those early stages, you can continue to work and all that. But by December of that year, I was in full-on radiation treatments and was just like, okay, I need a break. I can't be all prettied up on, 5 Zoom calls a day. I need to be in pajamas on my sofa with an ice pack. So it was the first time I'd ever really taken a break from work. And so 2021 was my building year. I tried to be chill, but I'm so extroverty that I showed up in every Zoom networking group that was available. I kept meeting awesome people like you in different Zoom rooms. And then when in-person came back, I was in my zone, because I'm like, okay. So I decided I'd always been the voiceover person as an employee, always the voice on the phone system, narrate a video here and there. But in 21, I really leaned into that as a career option for me. Got my demo produced at In Your Ear Studio here in town. I love those folks down there, and built out a home studio in my guest room closet, and love that. And it just started to take off. In addition to marketing consulting, I plug in with small agencies where they need to staff up on certain projects. And it's just been, the flexibility has been lovely.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, I'm 2 years in with owning my own business. Never thought that I would really hang out my own shingle, but it just evolved that way. And I had the encouragement of some amazing women that I could lean on that had, paved the path and had done it before. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what has been my assumption is your biggest challenge right after going into business is being presented with a health challenge, and how do you navigate through that? So you seem to be on the other side and doing much better. So what has been your biggest success, do you think, so far since hanging your own shingle?
My business, I think, walking into rooms where I don't have to explain who I am with having to still talk about my old job. I walk into rooms now and people know me as a voice actor or as a marketer. not as my previous life. So that took a little while to kind of re-educate and remarket myself. I'm the product now.
Yeah.
And so that's been the biggest difference. But the things that I like to celebrate are referrals. So from when I get a nice piece of business, get hired for an amazing gig, and it came from a relationship that I have fostered and worked hard to, facilitate, and then finally, business comes to the fore and you're like, yes, it worked, So yeah, I love referrals. I love lifting other people up, and then eventually that comes back to you.
Absolutely. It's planting the seed and seeing the fruition of that, of cultivating that seed, over time. So let's talk a little bit about you becoming the brand, right? So I'm basically in the same position where you are, where I am the product, right? So tell me some things that you have found beneficial in creating that, because there's a lot of things that you do, right? So there's a lot of things that I do, but we are the brand, we are the product. So how do you find yourself really solidifying that so that when you walk into a room, people know who you are and know what you do? What do you think was, like, what advice would you give somebody else? Because I'm still sort of like, I do this, I do the podcast, I have the magazine, eWomen Network. Like, there's so many different components to me. Like, one, building a website so that somebody can go specifically to one place and finding all the things. That's been helpful. But what other things would you say from a marketing perspective that are helpful when you're creating a brand, when there's no physical, like, here, buy this, you're going to use this for whatever.
So I think for me, I'm in the same boat, because now it's time for me to have a refresh.
Yes.
And one thing that I've done recently that has just been very freeing is let go of the concept of having to pigeonhole myself or to stay in one lane. Like, no, I'm manifesting things that are coming at me from different angles, and it's from seeds that I've planted here and there, and they're all beneficial, and they all kind of fall under my umbrella. It all ties in. So if I get hired as an MC for an event, I'm still in events and I'm still doing voice work.
Yeah.
So I don't have to tell people that I'm focusing just on voiceover. I do all of this. So your website does need to reflect kind of all the things that you do, and I'm working on mine as well. So I think, too, biggest problem as a marketer, I can tell someone else what to do all day long.
Yes,
I can
it's so
coach,
easy. So easy.
Coach you through your relationship issues, your work issues, but taking my own advice has been the hardest thing ever. So my socials, I don't post as often as I should. But I can put a content calendar together for someone else,
Absolutely.
So this kind of holiday season, things are winding down a little bit, on the kind of corporate work side. So I'm taking that time to work on my own business. A couple friends of mine are doing the same. And so we've kind of got some accountability calls, set up to where we're keeping each other on track for our goals and just ready to just blow it out in 2024.
Yeah.
So photography is important, and we both have access to an awesome photographer.
We do.
We'll be
Thank
just
God.
branding packages and things like that. Great photos that you can use and swap them out whenever you want, I think is important. But photographs that showcase your personality, which you have a big personality. I have a personality, So
My favorite picture is the one that Dawn did with me no shoes on. Right, like that's if you see that, there's a lot of people who have seen that and they're like, "That's Anna." Like I can totally tell that that's her. So,
and showing up as your authentic self is
absolutely.
so important.
Yeah.
And being kind, and then people will refer you and introduce you to people.
Yes.
So I know you and I both preach on this whenever we have the opportunity, but the whole concept of collaboration over competition.
Absolutely.
So between like you and our friend Elizabeth, we all MC, and we can certainly command a crowd and keep an event on point. But when I see you or her on socials, posting about a fun event that you did, I don't sit there and say, how did she get that job?
It should have been mine. It should, yeah.
I'm like, oh, wait, that looks like that's supporting a charity. What organization was she, working with? And I go, let me learn more about that. And then, or I'll like lift you up on like giving you all the hearts and the likes and saying, looking good, girl. There's just no point in the jealousy, and there is so much work out there, and our circles are tight. We run in very similar circles,
Absolutely.
but there's enough work for everybody.
There is.
And it will come to you.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
Well, and you cultivate those, and I'm a firm believer that, so one, yes, there's enough pie to go around. Like the pie is ginormous, and the extent of how it reaches is, and so, and I totally lost my train of thought now.
Oh, sorry.
Blah, 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 blah. Nope, that was totally my fault. Oh, cultivating relationships, right? I'm a firm believer that I am not everybody's cup of tea. You're not everybody's cup of tea. Mike isn't everybody's cup of tea. And so I want to, Mike is like, wait, what? No, I am. But I want to be able to cultivate those relationships, because even if if somebody came to me and they didn't want to work with me, I happen to be thrown into emceeing, which I just love because I love a microphone, y'all.
I know who doesn't.
I mean, come on, there's so much fun. But anyway, but I want to be able to say, oh, hey, call my friend Linne. She can do the same. And she's actually a lot better. And she would be the perfect person to do that. I've talked about this book, and I will talk about it again, but The Go-Giver, right? That's exactly what he talks about. It's this gentleman who's in business, and he's trying to get this sale, and it's a huge sale. And he calls the person and he says, hey, here, go reach out to this person, because the client would be better served by that individual than
I've
him.
talked myself out of business probably 2 or 3 times
Yes.
this week alone, because
Same.
I'm like, wait, I just met somebody last week who would be so good at that. Let
Right.
me connect you.
Yes.
And, it's, again, it will all survive and pay our bills. It's
Absolutely.
fine,
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's having that servant heart, right? Of looking at that individual for what they need. And yes, if you can offer a solution, fantastic. But if there's somebody who can offer a better solution, that one sale or that one connection that you would have had, if you take that and the energy isn't in alignment, then you are then blocking yourself off from 5 other different opportunities that would have come that may have been even better. And then they're not going to prosper as much because they're out of alignment. So
Alignment's probably been, manifest used to be my word, but alignment
is, yes,
has been kind of the latter half of 2023 has been my word.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's
Saying
super
no,
important.
no is a full sentence.
Yes, and it's not a 4-letter word. Is that what? It's not a 4-letter word, and I'm learning that as well too,
It's
right?
hard.
It's
very hard.
It's okay to say no, or maybe not right now, right? And I'm doing that learning because there's only so much of me. There's only 24 hours in a day, and how do I show up so that I'm authentic to who I am, and I'm using my abilities to the maximum capacity that I can, versus not showing up that way, and then everything just falls apart.
So what happens to people like you and me is that we end up doing things we do things with our heart. So we do more things that don't pay us than we do the things that do pay us.
Right.
And so when you get out of balance, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, you're spent, and you're not able to give from a full cup, because you're just
Done.
You're
Depleted.
down to, the last sip. And then you're not you're not bringing your full self to your family either.
Right.
And so that's been something I've had to really focus on, and I'm supposed to I have like an action plan. I'm supposed to be shaving off certain things that don't serve me as well, but it is really hard to say no.
It is. Because you don't want to let people down, right?
So let me get on one more soapbox.
Sure, please do. I love soapbox.
This was going to be a whole LinkedIn post, but it may offend a few people, but we need more people to volunteer. There are so many people that are out here like us that are involved in 10 different organizations, but we cannot do it all.
Right.
I'm not just working with professional associations. I'm also doing things with my community, my neighborhood, and it's because no one else is stepping up.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And we get burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say, I need to say no, then there's some bitterness or, oh, well, you've been doing it. And I'm like, I've been doing it. It's time for someone else to take over.
Right.
So empowering someone else to take on small tasks just to keep the train moving. You know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like no one else is available.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well,
why am I always available?
My friend Jill will probably say this, right? So a lot of nonprofits, and I think there was a statistic that I heard at one point, I can't remember what it is, but all of the volunteerism usually comes from the same handful of people, right? And it's always them heading it up. It's always them doing all the work. And every once in a while, there may be like a onesies, twosie here, but really it's always done by just this solidified group of people, which, like you said, burns them out. And so then they lose the passion for what they were doing, which is not good. So volunteering and then that brings more people who have different zones of genius, who can interject new energy and maybe have different ideas that can then propel, you know, whatever the organization is to an even better height than if people who are, you know, giving from an empty cup.
Right.
And so the event that you were talking about earlier that I was at yesterday with Mike was, so there's a lot of, you know, Mark Smith, who owns Midas of Richmond, like he's fantastic and he gives a lot to his community. And Rich and Polly, so Polly from Gather and Rich, who owns Fahrenheit, and then Kelvin. But like, so one thing that they said yesterday that like I've heard it before, and sometimes you just have to hear something multiple times before it hits you in the middle of the forehead, right? But we talk about not being paid. So sometimes there's this, not I don't know what the word is I'm looking for right now, but sort of like I feel selfish for getting paid to do something that I love to do, right? But Mark said it yesterday. He's like, you cannot give if you're not earning. And so I was listening to Abraham Hicks this morning. I cannot help somebody who is sad if I am sad. I cannot help somebody who is unhealthy become healthy if I am unhealthy. I cannot help somebody earn more money if I am not earning money. Like you cannot give from an empty cup. Period. End of story. Whether you believe in energy or not, it can't happen.
Yeah.
If you are down and out and depressed and completely spent on your couch, you're of no benefit to anybody else.
Right.
So it's
or you're
okay
faking
to earn
it
money
until you make it, and it's just
I
not
hate that
authentic.
word. I hate
know.
that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. So I used to say that a lot. Fake it until you make it. Eventually you'll get there. I did hear somebody say, and I thought I really like this, was faith it until you make it, right? So believing something is already in existence because you've said, I want to accomplish this, and knowing that the universe is bringing the people to places.
But
all
I'm
the
saying
things.
from a coaching like if people are looking to you for advice, like you're saying you can't help someone if you're in a similar situation.
Yeah.
It's tough when you want to coach others, but maybe they don't know. You're putting on such a brave face.
Yes, that's true.
Your public persona could be one thing, and you could be depleted when you're just by yourself. So it is hard. So again, it comes back to self-care, saying no, creating that space for yourself to just like, get a massage or take a nap.
I love massages.
I was at a dinner.
I love naps.
I was at a lovely dinner party last night with some ladies that I had been on a retreat with, which was something I invested in myself this year, and it was amazing. And we went around the table, and I thought it was going to be some deep philosophical question that she wanted all of us to answer, but it was just, name one nice thing you did for yourself this week. And I was like, oh my gosh, how refreshing is that? Yeah. And some people took naps, some people got their toes done, some people spent time with their grandkids, and my thing was that I had said no to something that was kind of last minute, and I didn't have the bandwidth for it, and I didn't bend over backwards to try to make it happen because I can't do it this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that protected my peace.
Yeah.
And it was important, and it protected my girlfriend's peace too, because it was a Girl Scout thing. So
that's awesome.
I was like, it's hard. It's so
It is.
hard
It
because
is
you
hard.
love people, you love their causes, and it's
absolutely.
tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
But
All right. So I'm super excited that you. He said 5 minutes. I would love for.
That's a gift.
Tell people how they can reach you and how they can get a hold of you.
Best way to reach me, I'm very active on LinkedIn, or just my website is LINNEDIIORIO.com. It's Italian. Yeah, LinnéDiiorio.com. My demos are there, so talking about bringing yourself front and center, like you can listen to my recordings, see if I'm a good fit for your project. And, I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome.
I'm out and about networking.
Yes.
Every day.
Absolutely.
All day.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
So before we head out today, what's one piece of advice that you could give to a new business owner, or even somebody who's been in the business, in business for a long time? Like, what's one thing that you learned that you're like, oh, I really wish I had learned that sooner?
I would say try to find a business mentor, whether it's at the chamber or another, professional organization, a colleague, someone who's done it before you. Because one of the biggest challenges that I've faced is all the tools and the tech needed to just run my small business. So where's the checklist? Where's
The how-to.
The how-to, you know, getting everything straight with taxes and registering your name, but also registering with your county, like down to the granular level of the county that you live in.
Yeah.
Business licensing, insurance. How do you want to invoice your clients? How are you going to get paid? What bank should you use for your bank account? It's just the minutia.
Yes.
Is a lot. When you want to be creative in your business and doing the fun stuff or working with your clients, this is all the nagging stuff.
Yes, that has to get done.
So one other nugget is there's an awesome coach, Rachel Cook, give her a little shout out. She advocates for setting up a CEO day for yourself once a week where you are blocking out admin time or just the deep thinking time where you need to, if you need to create a piece of collateral or update your website or invoice a couple clients, you have to protect that time on your calendar, right? And don't cancel on yourself. So, yeah.
Because if you did, and you worked at
who's
a
invoicing
job,
your clients?
right? Exactly. Like
Yeah.
your boss would fire you if you canceled.
That's
right?
how you
So
get paid.
That's how you get paid.
That's why
So,
you're doing
yes.
this whole thing.
Yes.
Of course, for the love of what you're doing.
Right. Absolutely.
But second, you got bills. You got to pay the Amazon.
Yes, absolutely.
The Amazons and the Targets of the world.
Right, exactly. Well, I've been thinking about it. So it's funny. It's not funny. This is what happens, right? I've been thinking like in 2024 that people talk about time blocking all the time, but right. So I have my deadline day, and I book myself, and every time deadline, it's the 15th of every month. It isn't different, but I forget to do that. And then at the last minute, I'm like, oh crap, there's so much stuff that I need to get done. So that is one of the things that going into 2024 on my deadline, like I'm not doing anything else other than admin stuff. Right. And then scheduling an admin day. At first I was like, well, I could just do an hour every single night or half an hour every night, or I'll just do it all on Saturday or whatever. But like just finding something that works for you, because otherwise you get behind on how you get paid or all of the other things.
Don't call it an admin day. Call it your CEO date.
CEO, okay.
You are the CEO.
I am.
Otherwise, you're just being a terrible employee for yourself.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I am a terrible
You're
employee.
the boss. So, and that's the thing too, is discipline.
Yes.
It's the discipline. You are a business owner now, and so, and I mean, I'm telling myself the same thing. Yeah, we got to do it. No one else is going to do it.
No, they're not. Unless you hire people.
Unless you hire.
Which I'm a full, like, my husband's like, are we going to make any money? I'm like, yeah, but I'm putting the systems in place now so that when I scale, I already have the really good people surrounding me. But yes, yeah, absolutely. So awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here with the In Crowd. I loved having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So yeah, see us next time. And until then, my friends, I'm cheering for you. Stay fluid.
Hi everybody, I am Anna Sothen, Anna like Princess Anna from Frozen, and Sothen like the beginning of a story, and I am your community connector. I am your human Rolodex. I help you increase your visibility and your credibility so that you can increase your business's profitability. If you want to be seen, if you want to be heard, if you want to be the expert in your industry, we need to connect. So reach out to me, Anna Sothen at Best Version Media.
Oh yeah, that's high tech.